So where are we? Well, look, we had politicians and their cheerleaders in the media and cheerleaders in academia spending the first 9 months of last year saying, oh, inflation is just transitory. Well, these are people I would just love to
That's
know the
right.
color of the sky in their world because when they look at inflation, they don't consider you have to keep your lights on, you want to drive, you want to stay warm, you want to stay cool. So they exclude, and you want to eat. So they exclude food, they exclude energy, and they completely misled us down this road. So yeah, here we are. So last year, real disposable income, to add on to Stephanie and Kevin's point, fell for the first time last year since 2014, and we're certainly there now. So to the
Yeah.
point with the high probabilities, a recession is unavoidable at this point. Every single recession in the United States, beginning with the Arab oil embargo in 1974, was preceded by a massive rise in energy costs.
Now, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And I think that this was a very insightful, small little section. Now, it actually goes on a little bit further, which I definitely want to share with you guys. But today, just to get it out there, some very important inflation documents were released. And if you guys don't know about it, I already shared with you guys yesterday that today, the March 10th, 8:30 a.m., numbers of February were going to be released, and what we found out was that the inflation, or the CPI number, was showing 7.9% year over year, meaning that over the entire year, again, basically referencing it from this February, because that's when we get the numbers now, the prices have increased by about 8%, which is the highest increase in like 40 years. Let's watch the rest of what he has to say.
We have never seen a massive rise like this we're seeing today. So be prepared for it. Energy prices are going to remain high. And as an offshoot, food prices have to remain high. This war in this country on natural gas, people don't realize natural gas is the biggest component in ammonium nitrate. That's fertilizer. That increases crop yields. The crop yields are already down and lower come next fall, come this planting season. So we're going to be looking at not only shortages in fuel, but shortages to create food and shortages to transport that fuel. So inflation is a very ugly situation.
Yeah, situation. We get it. We get it. That is actually very relevant, guys. And this, again, was a very important little talk that I think all of you guys had to hear for a little second, just to understand that the situation goes a significant amount further than we like to view it. I also put it over on Twitter. CPI just got released. It's at 7.9%. But there's two fun facts. One, I believe that last year the numbers were already crazy as well. So having said that, to see an 8% again, that's pretty shocking. But also, you got to remember that we were afraid they were going to numb the numbers down. They've actually still done that. And so if you look at the realistic inflation, it's actually even more towards 9, or some predict even more towards like 20% of what it should actually be when we're basically taking into account the actual numbers instead of the adjusted numbers, which is an interesting little thought process because 8% money loss in about a year, for example. And again, it's not exactly right to purchasing power. It's actually the CPI measures a set basket of goods that is basically essential, and they measure how much it decreased, basically, or how much it increased in terms of price, or the value of the same thing decreased, so you have to add to it. So it literally measures a decrease in your purchasing power for set goods, not for everything. For example, it doesn't take into account crazy luxury cars. They might have actually become even more affordable. So it's not one-to-one with the actual dollar necessarily, but most of the time it is. And in this case, we're noticing, wow, so things on average became 8% more expensive. It's still just scary from any aspect, to see that has been happening. Now, paired with that, I was actually quite interested to see how Bitcoin would react, specifically because we have been observing the straight correlation between Bitcoin and the S&P. And what we've been noticing is that Bitcoin price has been on a really crazy rodeo today. So for a good part, I thought it was going to be following the S&P straight along. I am not too sure if it's actually been doing that, purely because the price has been in such a crazy state. again, you can see the S&P price are over at the top, and then you can actually see Bitcoin at the bottom, hopefully now too. It's not necessarily perfect. Then again, we did measure yesterday as well, where the Bitcoin and S&P prices were basically 1-to-1. And actually, if you take a good look at my Twitter, which I highly recommend you guys to follow, if you're not following it yet, go check it out if you want to, of course, no obligation. This is the Bitcoin price on the 1-minute chart. You can see the crazy price action around the CPI release 9 minutes ago, and we can all clearly see that everything was going crazy around that mark. So here we can also see it over on the 15-minute chart for Bitcoin. If I zoom in, you guys can see it too. This right here was the section when it got released. You can see the crazy pump and dump scenario that we saw for Bitcoin, and that's actually kind of what I warned you guys about yesterday. It could be a pump, it could be a dump scenario. Turns out to have been both. Now, I didn't really expect that, nor could we have. But more about that over on my 5-minute crypto channel, where I basically cover the majority of my trades, ideas, and everything related to the Bitcoin price mostly. On this channel, I like to focus a little bit more on XRP, as I noticed a lot of you guys really like that a lot more than all the Bitcoin talk, which is fine. At the end of the day, I think XRP will greatly outperform Bitcoin short term, medium term, long term, so it's not really a problem. Then again, I want you guys to realize that even though I'm a very big fan of XRP, I'm not really against any crypto, not against Bitcoin, not against Ethereum. And you might think, oh, but Ethereum is one garbage, manipulated bank type of You know what I'm seeing a lot of people go into right now is this notion and idea that to be a supporter of one crypto, you have to be against another. And also that being involved with banks or having advantages because of some venture funds or so is a bad thing. I'm thinking, right? If, hypothetically speaking, ETH has been pushed with some power from all these higher ups, and we're all seeing it, it's all corrupt. Just thinking, why would you say, nah, screw that, it's so corrupt, when at the end of the day, it's a money game. These guys are making money off of, hypothetically, right, off of pushing it all the way up. Why don't you just ride the boat? In the same sense, if we're talking about Pelosi, let's not get too deep in that. But, okay, let's put it a little bit more general. Hypothetically speaking, if you knew an inside trader and you see them make another trade, and you know they have like a 95% accuracy, maybe even higher because they're freaking insiders and they do really well, are you going to say like, nah, that's a fraud? You know, you better pick him up. All my friends are going to trade what they're doing, but I'm not. I'm just going to call it out for being stupid. Or are you just going to follow the trade and shut up? I'm not sure. Not sure what the ethical best thing would be. Nor what I would do in this scenario, because I've not been presented one in that literal sense. But for Ethereum, I'm just thinking about it like, well, they've got a lot going for themselves. And even though they're not really great in terms of gas anymore, not really great in terms of speed, anything like that, they are still the center of quite a lot. Then again, with XRP, I believe that they'll go parabolic in 2022, mostly because they're going to win this lawsuit, I believe. All right, so in terms of price action, we've actually had a very interesting range, but right now, the most, I guess, prominent bottom for XRP is at about 71 point something cents. The XRP top here formed almost perfectly to where I expected. I expected the top to be 0.777, as that's usually the resistance that we do end up hitting. We actually came a little bit below, a little bit above there, but generally speaking, we kind of hit our point before coming right back down. And right now, as it currently stands, it would not be too crazy to actually form another bottom here at about 71.2. And if we do end up coming back up, it's most likely just gonna quickly retest again into our little supply zone for XRP. And the next move is a little bit of a wishy-washy type of state, because the narrative is not necessarily really bullish, not necessarily really bearish. We're in like this little middle stage. I should add that I am biased towards the upside. Again, we have showcased a couple of different times why the general direction for XRP, Bitcoin, and all those is upwards. It's just well, we can eventually break out. We must eventually break out. And I must actually add here that XRP did already have a bullish breakout earlier as well, but became right back down into its little triangle here. So let's just say XRP has another chance to break out towards either side. And this is, again, why I always say, only trade with confirmation. Don't trade the breakout candle, trade the confirmation you get afterwards. But to continue on further, there's quite a lot of other things which have happened in the short term. Take a look at this. Goldman Sachs will now offer its clients Ethereum funds via Galaxy Digital. What I basically read just now is that Goldman Sachs wants to be able to provide their clients direct access to Ethereum and Bitcoin, just cryptocurrency as a whole, once more, directly. This is yet another very big steps for these major banks and investment funds. It'll become the standard at one point or another though, guys. We are not too far away from that. Then this is really strange, but okay. Turkey's economy minister met with citizens to discuss Shiba Inu adoption. Not exactly sure what I gotta take from this, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know if this is good or bad. Not exactly sure what I should tell you about it. I mean, for the sake of crypto, that's pretty cool, but that's about it. But maybe that's just my opinion about the matter. This was pretty good, though. If we're talking about the leaders of countries and countries as a whole, South Korea had a new president and he likes crypto. And to that effect, the ICX price actually had a crazy pump because they're from that region, which is very interesting to watch. And I do wonder how that's going to kind of pan out here. Are there any UAE native cryptos? Not really that many that I know of that are that high up. But I do wonder if some smaller countries are going to show a positive stance toward crypto or a positive, something in that nature, like a candidate of presidency, if the cryptos will pump as well. And once more, to kind of add up about all the positive stuff about countries, Thailand is set to become crypto paradise after relaxing crypto tax burden for investors. I really wonder if the US is also going to do some nice things for crypto taxes. I mean, we know they're going to be investigating crypto. We know they're going to be investigating CBDCs, and we know they're taking a positive approach to become the center hub of crypto in the world, or at least in crypto innovation. But I do wonder if that includes some more lenient taxes, because they know that way they can get a lot more crypto innovation. I don't think so though, right? Because the US likes the tax, I just saw the $1.5 trillion bill that was, I think, literally just signed. So, yeah, no, I don't think that's going to be coming, but it's a good thing to think about, it's a good thing to think about. All right, having said that, guys, if you enjoyed this daily crypto video, make sure you press that like button. I actually ordered some cake, not pancake swap, but some real cake. Why? It felt good. Bitcoin not up, Ethereum not up, XRP not really up, but still, you got to celebrate the small things. And the small thing here is that I'm celebrating that I'm ordering some cake. That's what I'm celebrating here. The fact that I am happy that I get to order that, which is why I'm ordering it, to celebrate myself. All right, that was it for today. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Join 140,000 others, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video soon.